The story starts with a handsome guy making a perfect-looking dessert with calm focus. He does not believe in just sweetness. Instead, he balances bitter and acidic flavors, following a lesson he once learned from a pastry chef. In his mind, he keeps chasing one idea, a dessert that can feel like both poison and medicine. Yeah, bro is baking, but also low-key philosophical. A cute girl stands beside him, quietly watching as he serves the dessert, clearly impressed. The scene shifts to his class, as a group of girls gathers around the dessert, instantly getting excited over how cute and special it looks. Their energy goes full chaos as they admire it. Then they crowd around a shy girl named Chica, overwhelming her as she tries to stay composed while they fuss over her like she is the main event now. Ichinos watches from a distance as the girls eat desserts and instantly gets nervous. He tries to go check, but his friend stops him and starts teasing, even shifting the talk toward girls in their class. Then he points out Chika Satomi, a famous first year known for her pure and kind angel vibe. Someone people say can fix your worries just by talking. Ichinos pauses for a second but quickly ignores it because bro only cares about desserts right now. His friend pulls him back and asks about his sweets, and Ichinos proudly shows his canelles, explaining the crispy outside and chewy inside as if it were a science project. He is serious about improving, so he goes to get feedback from the girls, but they only give basic reactions, and that completely disappoints him. He was expecting real opinions, but got NPC-level responses instead, and when they start teasing him, he mentally checks out and calls it hopeless. In the end, he turns to Chica, hoping she gives a better answer. She gets slightly startled as he focuses on her and really puts all his hopes on the angel, like this is his final boss moment. Chica hesitates and only gives a simple answer again, and that low-key triggers him. He steps closer, clearly frustrated, trying to get something more real out of her. But before things get worse, another girl jumps in front of Chica like a bodyguard, like he just bullied her. Ichinos gets annoyed, but controls himself and pulls out a questionnaire he made, asking everyone to fill it seriously. The girls find it annoying at first, but since he looks dead serious, they give in. Chica quietly blushed while holding the paper. Later, when Ichinos reads the responses, his mood instantly crashes. Instead of proper feedback, the pages are filled with random nonsense, weird requests, and straight-up trolling. He snaps, realizing the girls were not serious at all and just played him. As he calms down, he checks again and notices something worse. The cute angel did not submit anything. That hits him harder than the trolling. He realizes she never said more than a simple reaction and probably could not even joke like the others. With a tired sigh, he starts packing up, feeling like asking amateurs for feedback was a mistake in the first place. While walking away, his thoughts get heavy. He starts questioning his own skills, his choices, even why he began making sweets at all. Regret slowly creeps in, like maybe he chose the wrong path. And just when he is lost in his thoughts, someone suddenly runs toward him out of nowhere. Chica suddenly bumps into him and quickly hands over a feedback paper she took time to write. She looks unsure and nervous, like she is not confident about what she wrote. Mr. Hype Beast reassures her casually and starts reading, and bro freezes. The feedback is detailed and sharp, praising the look and texture, but pointing out that the flavor lacks depth and needs something more lasting. It is exactly the kind of real opinion he wanted this whole time. He is genuinely shocked, like, where was this hidden talent before? As Chica tries to leave, he stops her, wondering why she did not say any of this earlier. She panics a little, thinking she said something wrong, but he quickly clears it up. Instead of being mad, he is actually happy, realizing she understands sweets way more than he expected. But Chica downplays herself, saying her opinion isn't worth much, which shows a clear lack of confidence even after writing something so good. Ichinos pauses, realizing something feels off. He thought she was this bright, perfect angel, but now it feels like there is a lost child in her. That thought hits him. He simply thanks her and asks if she wants to talk about sweets with him. He gets a bit passionate, wanting to hear more of her thoughts, and she shyly agrees. Later, they sit together in a cozy cafe, trying desserts she clearly enjoys. The place feels simple, but somehow rich and warm, and as they talk, Chica slowly opens up. She starts describing how everything around them blends perfectly. The music, the interior, the cake, the coffee, all of it creating one complete experience. She explains it in such a detailed and emotional way that it feels like she is seeing a whole different world through sweets. Ichinos just stares at her, completely shocked. The way she understands flavors and atmosphere catches him off guard, and for the first time, he realizes her insight is actually insane. But she quickly brushes it off, acting like it is nothing special. Ichinozi starts explaining the cake, pointing out how the dried fruits blend so well. Still, Chica casually identifies the exact element behind it and explains how it creates balance. And just like that, bro gets cooked. Everything he figured out with effort, she breaks down in one bite. He is shocked and low-key defeated, wondering if she has some kind of perfect taste ability. But as usual, Chika brushes it off and calls herself nothing special. That finally annoys him, and he tells her to stop saying that because it is honestly a waste. She hesitates but agrees to try a little more, while he quietly starts taking mental notes like he just found a hidden cheat code. Then, without overthinking, he asks her to become his exclusive taste tester. He seriously wants her help to improve and reach his dream of becoming a pastry chef. Bro even bows, going full serious mode. Chika gets flustered, but she accepts. She asks him to watch over her too. Slowly, she opens up about how she has never really done anything on her own, always being protected and decided for by others. Even though people care about her, it makes her feel stuck. She wants to change, to find what she likes, to stand on her own and have her own identity. She admits that being with him might help her take those small steps forward. And hearing that, Ichinos understands. All he has to do is support her journey. Honestly, this duo just formed, and it already feels like a win. Ichinos happily bumps his fist forward, calling it a cooperative relationship, and Chika follows along with a small, excited smile. Both of them promise to do their best, and just like that, their little partnership officially begins. As they leave the cafe, she thanks him, already looking forward to his next canale, and that simple excitement hits him. Yeah, she really does feel like an angel. While walking, he brings up her angel reputation, realizing it might not be a joke after all, since talking with her actually helped him too. She awkwardly denies having any special power. Then Chika suddenly reminds him of one important rule. She is the exclusive taste tester, so she gets the first bite, no exceptions. He freezes for a second, while she smiles, clearly enjoying this role a bit too much. And then out of nowhere, she starts listing all the things she wants to try. From cooking to games to trips, the list just keeps going. Bro thought it was about sweets, but she unlocked her whole bucket list. Things take a weird turn when she casually brings up a couple stuff like trips and matching experiences, and Ichinos instantly panics, trying to shut that down. He tells her to do that with someone she actually likes, but that only makes her pout, calling him out for only caring about sweets. And suddenly the vibe shifts. She steps closer, changes how she addresses him, and suggests they should get closer as partners. Before he can process anything, she grabs him and pulls him into a hug, getting way too close and telling him to call her by her name. Ichinos completely short circuits, face red, brain gone. Bro is not built for this level of interaction. Then just as quickly, she steps back like nothing happened, calmly saying goodbye and reminding him about the canale. Ichinos just stands there, stunned, questioning reality itself as this new version of her is way too dangerous. The scene shifts to Ichinos lying on a park bench, staring into nothing, completely out of it. His mind keeps replaying Chika's words, and Bro is not okay. He cannot focus on making sweets, messes up his work, and even loses sleep. The shy girl he knew was suddenly switching like that? Yeah, his brain is still buffering. He keeps thinking about how serious she was about wanting to change and do things on her own, and now he is stuck, wondering what he is even supposed to do. Just as he is lost in thought, he hears a familiar voice nearby. It is Chika with her friend Mickey, chatting like everything is normal. Mickey is hyping her up, talking about how cute she looks, and how the outfits she picks always suit her perfectly. Ichinos watches for a moment, calm, quiet, and surrounded by people deciding things for her. Curious, he steps forward and tries to talk to her, bringing up what she asked him before. But the moment he speaks, Chika gets startled and panics, and before anything can happen, Mickey jumps in front of her like a shield again. Bro really cannot catch a break. He gets frustrated and blurts out that he is the one who got scared, especially after trying to cooperate as she asked. But before he can explain properly, Mickey jumps in again, shutting him down, while Chika looks shaken and on the verge of tears. Then suddenly, she glares at him for the first time and tells him not to bring it up, completely flipping the situation. Mickey soon leaves for class council work, still worried about Chika like always, but she reassures her and waits until she is gone. The moment Mickey disappears, Chika lets out a sigh of relief, like she has been holding it in the whole time. She admits she did not want Mickey to find out and hesitates when Ichinos asks about getting her help. Even though Mickey is her childhood and best friend, being around her means Chika never gets to do anything on her own. Every choice, even small things like shopping, is decided for her. Ichinos connects the dots, and Chika finally declares that she does not want to stay like this anymore. She wants to make her own choices, even if it is something small. Then her mood suddenly lifts, and she excitedly asks him to hang out after school so she can try shopping by herself for the first time. Ichinos agrees, and she lights up with pure excitement, almost like a kid finally getting freedom. Ichinose gets confused about what Chika even wants to buy, but after school, she drags him to a plushie shop, and Bro is instantly shocked. Out of all things, she goes straight for a big teddy and hugs it happily, like this was her true goal all along. She explains that she always wanted this kind of plushie, but Mickey kept recommending cute baby-style ones instead. Meanwhile, this one has a whole wild backstory, some ancient demon cat energy going on, which somehow makes it even better in her eyes. He just stands there, completely lost, trying to understand the logic as if it were some advanced theory. Chika proudly says that choosing this by herself feels like her first step into adulthood, even if she ends up picking a smaller one because of the price. Ichinose tries to process it in his own weird way, comparing it to sugar types, like Bro is still stuck in dessert mode. They head to the counter, and she gets nervous since she has never handled payments on her own before. She even calls him Dad for guiding her, while Ichinose is already mentally gone again, thinking about recipes instead of the moment. Ichinose tells her to just go for it, but Chika insists on practicing in her head first, like this is a boss battle. He agrees with a small smile, and off she goes. At the counter, things instantly go wrong. She panics, drops everything, coins scatter everywhere, and she almost starts crying. Ichinose realizes this is what it means to actually spoil someone like her. Chika apologizes, feeling like she cannot even do something this simple, but Ichinose laughs it off and reassures her. He hands her the coins again, giving her another chance. This time, she gathers her courage, determined to try again. They bump fists like teammates, and she runs back in with full energy, ready for round 2. Ichinose tries to call her back because she forgot something, but she is already gone. He just sighs, realizing she is really like a kid sometimes. Until now, she was always being guided, always held back from falling, and now she is finally trying to let go and stand on her own. This time, Cutie Chika successfully pays and comes back holding her plushie like she just unlocked an achievement. She waves it happily. On the way back, she keeps humming to herself, clearly enjoying the moment, and Ichinose notices she is in a really good mood. As she walks, she almost trips, and he instinctively stops her, treating her carefully, but that makes her pause, slightly pouting, feeling like she is being treated like a kid again. He awkwardly backs off, while she quickly brushes it aside, proudly reminding him that she took a step forward today and is determined to become more mature. Both of them end up smiling, sharing that small but meaningful moment. Then she gives him a cute cat keychain as a thank you, explaining that it came as a pair. Ichinose happily accepts it, and for a second, everything feels warm and simple. But just as they are about to leave, she hesitates again. She says she still wants to shop a little more, and he casually agrees, as he will tag along with Satomi. He keeps walking ahead, and she quietly stops. That one word hits her. He is still calling her Satomi. Chika remembers the first time they met. Back then, he suddenly showed up offering sweets like a total stranger, scaring both her and Mickey. He kept insisting without reading the room, while Mickey shut him down instantly. But for Chika, what stayed with her was different. She realizes she could never speak with that kind of confidence, especially about herself. And that is exactly why he caught her attention. Back in the present, she watches him walk ahead and feels a little heavy inside. She thought they were finally getting closer after everything, but something still feels off. Then she remembers what she did yesterday, getting too close, hugging him, telling him to call her by name, and instantly gets embarrassed. Bro, she really went all in, and now the cringe is hitting back hard. She starts overthinking, wondering why she acted like that, even feeling like she crossed a line. Meanwhile, Ichinose casually asks about their next stop, like nothing happened, completely unaware of the chaos in her head. He calls her Satomi again, and that hits her. She does not like the distance that name creates, especially now that she can finally talk to him properly. She hypes herself up, trying to gather courage, like this is another challenge she has to overcome. After a deep breath, she forces herself forward and responds with a simple answer, but inside, she is fully committing this time. She excitedly tells him the store is this way and insists he stay with her the whole day. He agrees, and she quietly decides to figure out what he likes through shopping. In her mind, she starts linking clothes with sweets, trying to understand his world better while he just follows along. Inside the clothing store, she gets excited and asks for his opinion on outfits, but Ichinose instantly gets embarrassed and refuses to enter properly, covering his face. Chika is surprised because he is normally confident around groups of girls when it comes to sweets, but now he is uncomfortable with something like fashion. She points that out, and he explains that he can handle anything when it is about taste-testing sweets, but fashion is different, so he just wants to finish quickly. Chika feels a bit discouraged because she wanted to share this experience with him properly. Turbo Bro then casually looks at a cake poster and relaxes, which gives Chika an idea. She tells him to think of clothes like sweets, where visuals are important, and the first impression matters just as much as taste. She continues explaining that sweets are not only about flavor, but also how they look before being tasted, and clothes are similar in how they catch attention. That perspective slowly helps Ichino shift his thinking, and he starts viewing it more like creation instead of embarrassment, allowing the shopping to continue in a better mood. Ichino suddenly realizes something and confidently says he understands, then immediately marches toward the clothes with full focus, like he is entering a lab experiment. Chika gets happy because she thinks they can finally shop together properly. She tries asking his opinion, but he is completely locked into his own thoughts, analyzing clothes like dessert plating, comparing details in his mind, and ignoring everything else. Chika quickly realizes he is not looking at outfits anymore. He is fully in chef brain mode. Miss Drama Queen starts feeling a bit left out, thinking she just wanted to get closer to him, but he is only focused on sweets even here. She quietly puts things back, feeling a bit sad because she thought this would be their moment together. Before she can process it, a salesgirl suddenly appears and pulls him aside to talk privately, insisting she try something on, ignoring her attempts to call Ichino's for help. Chika gets flustered and overwhelmed while the salesgirl keeps pushing outfits on her, saying it will impress her partner. Chika is stuck thinking she just wanted to spend time with him, but now she is being dressed up by force, while he is completely absorbed in his own dessert world, unaware of what is happening behind him. She gets flustered in the changing room, thinking it would be nice if he actually reacted to her. She realizes she might be acting a bit strange, but deep down, she just wants to see that expression he made before, when he actually looked at her. She changes into a bold outfit and steps out in a baddie mode. Fluff Lord MC looks shocked, and she asks if he has thought sweets. His reaction is stiff at first, making her doubt herself, but he struggles to respond properly, unable to look away. Feeling nervous but determined, Chika grabs his hand and pulls him into the changing room. He panics, trying to stop her, completely overwhelmed by the situation. She leans in slightly and asks him to call her by her name, wanting him to see her, not just as Satomi, truly. He was barely managing to say her name, his face completely red. That reaction is exactly what she wanted to see. For the first time, he is not thinking about sweets. He is focused on her. But the moment becomes too much for him, and he quickly escapes, completely embarrassed. Chika is left behind, still blushing, realizing something about herself. She wanted to get closer, but now she also understands that she cannot easily stop these feelings. And more than anything, she finds his reactions genuinely cute. The next day at school, Ichino's friend instantly starts teasing him, loudly assuming he went on a date with a pretty girl. Ichino's tries to act normal, but bro is clearly panicking inside as things spiral out of control. Just then, Mickey shows up with Chika, already annoyed at the usual chaos. Ichino secretly hopes Chika will help clear things up, but instead, she just stares at him. No help, no save, nothing. Then Chika casually turns away with Mickey, acting like she wants nothing to do with it. Ichino snaps and goes after his friend in frustration, as everything turns into pure chaos again. But in the middle of it, she makes a small, childish teasing expression before leaving, and that completely throws him off, as she's definitely not acting like an angel now. Pauses, confused. For someone everyone calls an angel, that reaction feels completely different from what he expected. Ichino's suddenly makes up his mind, declaring he is going to do it. But right at that moment, Chika appears out of nowhere and catches him off guard. He panics, struggles with her name for a second, then awkwardly calls her properly, which only makes things feel more intense. She casually says she is just passing by, while he tries to act normal and brings up the parfait he wants to try. Chika immediately brightens up and joins in, saying she will put extra effort this time as thanks for before. Ichino's agrees, but quickly warns her not to do anything strange like last time. That only makes her tease him, lightly stepping closer and reminding him of what happened, which instantly flusters him again. Unable to handle it, he rushes ahead, trying to shift the focus back to sweets. Soon, they sit together in a cafe, and a beautiful raspberry parfait is placed in front of them. Chika is amazed by how cute it looks, almost feeling bad about eating it. Ichino's explains that this exact feeling is part of the charm of desserts, encouraging her to try it first. She hesitates for a moment, then finally goes in for the first bite, while Ichinose watches, waiting for her reaction, like it actually matters more than anything else. She takes a bite of the parfait and instantly lights up. She breaks down the taste in detail, noticing how the fresh berries stay juicy and balanced, while the cheese and streusel smooth everything out. To her, every layer feels rich and carefully made, almost like something precious. Then she excitedly tells Ichinose to try it too. Ichinose agrees but realizes he does not have a spoon and tries to get up. Before he can move, Chika casually offers her own spoon, holding it out for him. He freezes, clearly embarrassed, trying to avoid it, but she calls him out, making him face it. She keeps the spoon there, telling him to hurry before she eats it all, even pointing out that there is a hidden detail in the flavor that he should notice. He stares at it, completely conflicted, knowing this is part of improving his skills, but also feeling the pressure of how close she is. In the end, he gives in and takes a bite from her spoon, turning completely red. But when she asks how it tastes, he admits he cannot even focus enough to tell. That only makes Chika push further, bringing the spoon closer again and feeding him another bite before he can stop her. Ichinose is fully overwhelmed now, stuck between trying to analyze the dessert and dealing with how close she is, while she stays completely calm, almost enjoying how much she is shaking his composure. Chika smiles and casually says there is still more parfait left, but Ichinose quickly covers his face, trying to regain focus and actually analyze the taste. He starts breaking it down seriously, noticing the freshness in the cheesecake but struggling to figure out what creates that flavor. He guesses a few things but cannot quite reach the answer. Chika calmly points out that it is black pepper, and that instantly clicks for him. He realizes how the flavor is controlled using something unexpected, and that excites him. To him, this is what makes pastry making so fascinating. Then Chika asks him a simple but deep question about why he wants to become a patissier. Ichinose pauses, unable to give a clear answer. He vaguely recalls wanting to make sweets that bring smiles, but even that feels unclear now, like something he cannot fully grasp anymore. Chika, on the other hand, lights up with excitement. She starts imagining his future, talking about different styles of sweets he could create and how they would make people happy. Her words are full of belief, as if she already sees his success clearly, but Ichinose hesitates. Instead of confidence, doubt takes over. He admits that he struggles, that it takes him a lot of time to perfect even one recipe, and that he keeps making mistakes. Compared to someone like her, who can understand flavors instantly, he feels like he is not good enough. For the first time, he openly questions whether he is even meant to become a pâtissier. Chika quietly listens as Ichinose speaks, calling his name softly. He quickly brushes it off, saying he is not giving up, just being realistic. He explains that he still wants to try his hardest because thinking about sweets is fun for him, but he never thought deeply about his dream since he believed others would laugh at it. He always focused on managing everything alone. Then he admits something important, that she is the first person who truly believes in him, and that makes him genuinely happy. After finishing their parfait, they leave the cafe together. Chika says she is heading a different way, and Ichinose casually says goodbye, calling her by her name without thinking. That small moment catches her off guard. As he walks away, Ichinose reflects on everything, realizing that his original reason for making sweets was simply to make people happy. Lately, he has been too anxious and distracted, so he has decided to focus again and improve. Suddenly, Chika calls out to him and runs back. She admits that she feels the same way, that he is the first person who ever encouraged her and made her feel like she could try. She confesses that she was happy, especially because it was he who said those words. Before he can respond, she quickly runs off, too embarrassed to stay. Ichinose is left standing there, confused but thoughtful. The more he interacts with her, the harder it becomes to fully understand her. And yet, one small question lingers in his mind. What kind of sweets does she truly like? Afterward, Ichinose is in his kitchen, fully focused as he prepares a dessert with sharp precision. Every move is clean and controlled, and when he finishes, he looks at it with pride, feeling like he is finally improving, like something in him is waking up. At school, the girls try his cake and instantly love it. They hype it up, calling it tasty and even saying he is like a pro. Ichinose gets carried away, acting confident and joking like he already reached the top, while the girls casually brush it off and even bring out another store-bought cake. That instantly hits his ego. Then he remembers something important. If Chika approves it, then it truly matters. That thought pushes him, and he quickly asks where she is before rushing off to find her, determined to give it to her personally. He finds her in the courtyard, talking to a friend who thanks her for her advice. Even now, she is helping others without realizing her own worth. After the friend leaves, she sits there quietly, lost in thought. Ichinose grips the cake box tightly, walks up to her, and calls her name. She looks up, surprised, and with a bit of nervousness, he tells her he made something for her. Chika instantly lights up when she sees the cake, jumping with excitement because she was waiting for this. Ichinose proudly tells her everyone else already liked it and offers it to her, but the moment he says that, she freezes. Realizing she was not the first to try it, her mood drops, and she calls him out for breaking his promise. Ichinose panics and tries to fix it, quickly showing her the small kitty decoration he specifically saved for her. That makes her pause. Hearing that it was meant just for her softens her reaction, even if she still feels a bit upset. She hides it behind a bright smile and says she will eat it later after lunch, acting like everything is fine again. When she offers to share, Ichinos refuses, and that leads her to notice something strange. He does not really eat proper meals and mostly survives on leftover sweets because of ingredient costs. That shocks her. She immediately insists on eating together and goes to bring her lunch, saying she always has extra anyway. Before he can properly refuse, she leaves with a smile, telling him to wait. Ichinos is left standing there, watching her go, realizing once again that she does things in her own unexpected way. As they sit together for lunch, Ichinose remembers something Chika said earlier about not really doing anything, and it stays in his mind. But the moment he tries her food, he cannot hold back. He is completely impressed by how good it is. Chika explains that her family always prepares a lot, which is why she struggles to finish it alone. Then it is her turn to try his cake, and Ichinose suddenly gets nervous, watching her reaction closely. She takes a bite and immediately understands the layers, the balance of flavors, and even guesses the combination. Her feedback is detailed but also warm, praising how much he has improved while still keeping everything balanced. That makes Ichinos light up. He proudly says how he has finally learned to stay calm and follow each step properly instead of rushing like before. For once, he feels confident in what he created. Chika smiles and then offers him a different cake as well, something from a popular shop. Ichinose recognizes it and gets excited, but at the same time, a small feeling creeps in. He notices she also has sweets from somewhere else, even though he just made something for her. Chika casually shares that her father gives her those cakes, and she simply shares them with others. But for Ichinos, that moment feels a bit complicated, like his effort and someone else's sweets are now being placed side by side. Ichinos examines the cake carefully, noticing how simple it looks at first. She points out the gentle fragrance, explaining how the sponge seems to carry a soft floral note. He takes a bite, still confident, but that confidence disappears instantly. The moment he tastes it, something hits him deeply. It is not just about flavor anymore. There is a warmth in it, a balance that feels comforting, almost emotional. He realizes he cannot recreate this, not with just technique. His eyes well up as he understands there is something beyond recipes at play. He starts describing it in his own way, how the sweetness, slight bitterness, and softness come together to create something kind, something that feels like it supports you. To him, this is what sweets are truly meant to do. And that realization crushes his earlier pride. He admits it openly, frustrated at himself for getting carried away just because he improved a little. Chika tries to reassure him, saying his cake was good too, but he refuses to accept it. To him, this cake proves something important. True mastery is not just about complexity or effort. It is about understanding the basics so deeply that even something simple can carry meaning. And right now, he knows he is not there yet. Ichinose, still shaken, wonders what it would take for him to reach that level. Chika casually suggests meeting the person who made the cake, and he hesitates, thinking he would just be bothering a stranger. Then she drops the truth. The cake was made by her father. That completely shocks him. She reveals that both her parents were pâtissiers, and even now her father is still involved in creating new sweets. Suddenly, everything about her makes sense. Her taste, her understanding, all of it. Ichinos is stunned, realizing the gap between them is even bigger than he thought. Chika, however, looks happy and suggests he come over and meet him. Ichinos gets awkward, thinking about her overprotective family and whether it is even okay for him to go. He wants to learn, but this feels like stepping into a completely different world. Then she adds something else, saying there is something she wants to do when he comes over. That only makes him more confused, not knowing what she is planning. Even so, he agrees, and she lights up, quickly deciding on Sunday. Later, the mood shifts. Chika sits alone in her room, blushing and overthinking, clearly nervous about what is coming. Meanwhile, Ichinos is stuck with one thought. What exactly is she planning to do when he gets there? At home, Ichinos is reading pastry notes when his phone suddenly rings. He checks the message and freezes. Chika says she is ready for tomorrow and tells him to prepare himself. He stares at the screen, immediately overthinking everything. He starts questioning what she means by ready, whether her parents being home changes anything, and what kind of situation he is actually walking into. The more he thinks, the more he convinces himself he is probably misunderstanding something important. Meanwhile, Chika is outside struggling completely on her own. She is trying to shop for snacks but is overwhelmed by everything. Even something as simple as choosing snacks becomes a full mental breakdown. She keeps listing flavors and options in her head, unable to decide anything, realizing she does not actually know what he likes at all. Her whole plan for the day was simple in her mind. Greet him, share snacks, relax, and spend time together. But now that she is actually preparing, she feels nervous and uncertain. Still, she forces herself not to back out because she wants to do this properly for him. In the end, she decides she will just ask him everything tomorrow. And for both of them, the same question quietly remains. What kind of day is this actually going to become? Chika spots recipe cards for easy meals like vegetable dishes, pan recipes, and simple bentos. She gets instantly excited and starts picking them up one by one, completely fired up about learning everything she can. In her mind, she decides she needs to get better at cooking so she can properly help Ichinose. She starts imagining bringing him lunch at school and even going on outings together where she can prepare food for him. Simple things like picnics, seasonal trips, and shared meals begin filling her thoughts. For her, it is not just cooking anymore, it is something she genuinely wants to do for him. Her motivation grows stronger as she decides tomorrow has to go perfectly. She plans to read recipes again and prepare properly so she does not mess up. It feels like she is finally taking control of something important to her. Then a message from her mother appears, asking where she is and when she will return. That snaps her back a little. She quietly admits that while she loves her parents, she still struggles to speak freely in front of them, showing how much she is still trying to find her own voice. Chika stands in the supermarket, remembering her childhood. Her parents used to call her their little angel, always saying they would protect her and stay by her side. But as she grew up, that protection slowly turned into restriction. Even small things like playing outside were stopped because they were too worried she might get hurt. Over time, Chika learned to avoid making them anxious. She would let them hold her hand, follow their decisions, and slowly stop trying things on her own. Even now, she assumes they would never allow her to cook properly or do anything independently. But in that moment, holding the cat keychain Ichinose gave her, something changed. She remembers his words and the way he looked at her when he trusted her taste. That small memory gives her courage. She decides she needs to do something for herself, for her parents, her friend, and for him too. When she returns home, her parents greet her warmly and casually ask about her day. Her father also mentions Ichinose coming over tomorrow. Clearly happy about it, she hesitates for a moment, then gathers herself and says she wants to ask them something important. For the first time, she is not just going along with what others expect, she is trying to speak for herself. Chika gathers her courage and finally says it out loud. She wants to make tomorrow's dinner herself and asks to use the kitchen. Her parents immediately panic, imagining all kinds of accidents, and quickly refuse. They remind her how dangerous it can be and how they cannot take the risk. Chika tries to explain that she has already learned the basics, used tools in class, and even prepared ingredients on her own. She insists she can do it, her voice shaking but determined. For once, she is not backing down. Her parents still hesitate, torn between worry and her persistence. After a long pause, her father finally gives in, but only under strict supervision. Chika bursts into happiness, fully fired up and promising she will make something amazing. Later, in her room, she texts Ichinose, saying she cannot wait for tomorrow. Her excitement is uncontrollable as she imagines how he will react. But in the middle of that happiness, she quietly remembers his expression from before, the way he almost looked like he would cry over sweets. That memory sticks with her, not just as something cute, but something real, and she finds herself wanting to see more of those expressions from him, even more than she expected. Ichinose stands in front of Chika's house, completely frozen. His mind is spiraling as he realizes this is the first time he is actually at a girl's home. He overthinks her message, wondering if something strange is about to happen, and starts mentally preparing for anything. He even considers running away, convinced he is walking into some kind of unpredictable situation. But before he can escape, the door suddenly opens. Chika appears like she was waiting for him, casually greeting him and pulling him inside before he could react. He tries to back out awkwardly, but she mentions her parents are already waiting. That single sentence locks him in place. He is forced to follow her inside, completely panicked, but too late to escape. The moment he steps into the house, his nervousness peaks. He greets them loudly and formally, introducing himself like he is in a job interview, completely stiff and overwhelmed. The atmosphere is tense, but Chika is calmly leading him further in, while Ichinose realizes there is no turning back now. He is officially inside the world of Satomi Chika. Chika's parents completely lose composure the moment they see Ichinose, reacting like a man has suddenly entered the house. They immediately start questioning everything, from how he introduced himself to why he didn't call himself a friend instead of a classmate. The atmosphere becomes chaotic with overprotective energy mixed with confusion. Her father then politely asks about his goal of becoming a pâtissier, and Ichinose suddenly shifts into full serious mode. Nervous but determined, he presents the shortcake he made and asks for their honest feedback. The moment he tries to hand it over, things escalate again. Chika quickly interrupts and drags him away, saying he can talk later and insisting he should wait in her room for now. Ichinose has no time to process anything and is pulled out of the situation before he can even explain further. Now alone in Chika's room, Ichinose is completely overwhelmed. Everything feels too personal, too quiet, too unfamiliar. He tries to stay calm but ends up overthinking everything, from the atmosphere to the faint sweetness in the air. He realizes he is not just nervous about being in her house anymore. He is nervous about being in her space, her world, and how easily it is affecting him. Ichinose hears Chika calling from outside and forces himself to act normally, trying to convince himself he is not being completely led around by her pace. He opens the door, and she immediately arrives carrying a large tray of sweets and cookies. She explains she did not know what he would like, so she bought everything she could find, mixing different styles and flavors. Ichinose is impressed for a second, but also suspicious at how confidently she says she bought it all by herself. As he reaches for a cookie, Chika suddenly stops him and takes control of the situation again. Before he can react, she starts feeding him directly, acting like it is the most natural thing in the world. Ichinose freezes, completely overwhelmed by how casual she is about it. He tries to regain control, insisting he can eat on his own, but she simply switches to the next thing, offering tea and even trying to help him drink it. Every attempt he makes to act normally gets interrupted instantly. Ichinose slowly realizes that this is not a normal tea time anymore. It is Chika, completely ignoring boundaries, most innocently and unpredictably possible, and he is just trying to survive it. Ichinose coughs hard, completely caught off guard, while Chika panics and starts searching for a napkin. She wipes his face without hesitation, treating him like he is in full emergency care mode. For a moment, Ichinose just sits there, exhausted and overwhelmed, realizing this is not just getting close anymore. It is Chika invading every personal space he thought he still had left. He tries to regain his mental balance and convinces himself he will not be carried away by her pace, no matter what. Even if she keeps acting like this, he decides he will hold his ground. But Chika misreads his silence and immediately assumes he is tired, especially after noticing the dark circles under his eyes. Before he can deny it properly, she is already moving closer, fully in caretaker mode again. He panics at how fast she switches from calm to intense concern, realizing he might have underestimated how seriously she takes everything. Ichinose suddenly freezes the moment he feels her move behind him. Before he can react, suddenly moves behind him and starts giving him a shoulder massage like she is following a serious training manual. She calmly explains that his shoulders are stiff and she will help relax him completely. Ichinose immediately panics. The situation feels way too close, way too personal, and way too unpredictable for him to handle normally. He tries to stop her, but she insists he should just relax and not move. The more she continues, the worse his overthinking gets. He finally grabs her hand and tells her to stop, saying he feels uneasy. That makes Chika pause instantly. Instead of getting defensive, she looks genuinely confused, like she did not realize she crossed a line at all. Then she suddenly apologizes and admits she just wanted to get closer as friends. She reasons that he is her first male friend, and she is still figuring out what is normal. She only wanted to make him happy, but she did not know how to do it properly. That hits Ichinose in a different way. He realizes she was not teasing or messing with him on purpose. She was just trying too hard in her own innocent, chaotic way. He calms down, apologizes for snapping, and tells her she is overdoing it as a friend. To ease the tension, he pulls out a game on his phone and challenges her to play. She immediately brightens up and agrees. The mood shifts completely as they start playing together, sitting side by side in a quiet, awkward, but unexpectedly warm moment that feels far more natural than anything that came before.
Here I am, know it's been a while. I was in denial about my love. Here I stand, I know I walked away.